Hey everybody, it's Jeremy Scott with Liberty Bugle Town Hall. Hey, I just wanted to say happy Tuesday, and here we are. It has happened, as we talked about, and Kevin McCarthy has now gotten the gavel and has won after 15 rounds of voting. 15 rounds. Can you guys believe that? It's been 15 rounds. So he finally got the gavel, and of course, the folks that I was talking about that there were going to be the holdouts, it's true. They absolutely were. And that's okay. They were able to save face, and of course we've got our local crew. We've got Andy Biggs, Lauren Boebert, of course, Eli Crane here from Arizona, as well. Matt Gates, Bob Good, Matt Rosendale. All of them voted present, and they didn't have to go against what they had said. When they said they weren't going to vote for McCarthy, they were sticking to their guns. They were holding true, and that way they can take that home and tell their constituents, hey, we did exactly as we said we were going to do. Now, some people thought that the fight was unnecessary, but there are a lot of very important things that you guys will see take place and that will play out over this next couple of years. And part of it is, McCarthy is being held with several things. Now, there is also the fact that the motion to vacate, meaning that it would just take now one member of the House to vote to have him removed to vacate the seat. It's not really as easy as it sounds. Of course, they'd have to go through committee and things and so on. But yes, they have that hanging over his head as an option. He's no Paul Ryan, saying that he wasn't going to allow that amendment to be a part of the rules. But here we have it, and I believe that Kevin is going to work in earnest to keep the power with the people. That means you and me, and to do what we have requested, what we sent them there to do. True. Now, of course, they have one chamber. They've got the House of Representatives. We still don't have a majority in the Senate, and, of course, don't have the White House yet. Now, there are several things that will go into play along with this. A lot of developments that have happened over the last 24 hours. I told you guys Friday that this was coming about, and it happened late, like after midnight Friday night. And, of course, took the weekend off, so it didn't bring you guys any content over the weekend, and here we are. So we're going to move past this a little bit, but Kevin McCarthy is now seated. They now have members of the Freedom Caucus that have now are on the Rules Committee, and that decides how procedures will take place in the House of Representatives with votes. Not just will they bring up certain amendments or will they do certain valuable things. It's how they're going to go about it and what it means. Simplifying the processes as are done. And I'll bring you guys some of the details to help it be as clear as mud, right, in the very near future. But what were Kevin's promises? What did he promise to do? And I've kind of nailed it down here a little bit for you. And it's this. What were Kevin's promises? Bright green, one of my favorite colors. Dayglow green. So Kevin's promises, number one, defund the IRS. Not just defund like the IRS overall, even though that there was a new bill that was presented, and we'll talk about that on another episode. But they voted to remove those 87,000 IRS agents that they had planned to hire that were not elected, and they were armed. They were planning on arming these individuals to come after you and all of your transactions and audit. You think with 87,000 more IRS agents, you don't think that they were going to increase the number of audits? That's insanity. They're going to come after everybody. You know why? Because their spending is so out of control. They want to make sure that they can bleed you for every penny that they can to keep spending more money. That's another, we'll tackle that later on. The good news is the first bills proposed, two-page bill, first bills proposed was to remove the funding for those IRS agents, making sure that they are never hired. So congratulations. Thank you, team. Let's keep that going. Let's make sure that stays a reality. Nobody likes IRS agents. I don't know how they like themselves. But anyway, that is being done. So first part is done. Slashing budgets. Now, that's one of the things they're talking about, clean bills, meaning that when a bill's proposed, it's about that thing. No more omnibus bills, no more porculus bills, no more special interest funding that's just tucked in there nice and neat along the side and into the edges and in between the lettuce and the cheese and that sandwich of destruction and mayhem and pain for the U.S. taxpayer. No more. They're going to introduce only clean bills that will be exactly what that bill's about with no other bullshit involved. Yes, I believe this is going to happen. It's something that that we collectively will hold their feet to the fire on as well. But it's being done, and we're thankful for that. Now, some of the other things that they talked about is potentially introducing things for term limits. We hear it all the time. I'm going to put that up on the shelf of probably never going to happen. They get too rich in their positions, and as soon as somebody starts to claw back the money that they've made, they're not going to be thrilled about it. So term limits probably never going to happen. But let's talk about investigations. Now, here is something that is really fantastic. They're actually putting together sort of a subcommittee, if you will, that focuses solely on the investigations. This will be with the House Judiciary Committee, and they're going to focus specifically on these investigations. They're going to go after, of course, Hunter Biden and the Biden crime family, the withdrawal from Afghanistan, the lies that have been told about January 6th. They're going to come and rake Fauci over the coals on the origins of COVID and the gain of function that he's been lying about for a very long time. And they're going to talk about the Mar-a-Lago raid. And I'm going to talk about this for 1 second, and I'm going to circle back to this, okay? Not like Jen Psaki, circle back. But I'm going to circle back to this. But big tech bias and the manipulation of Facebook, Twitter, Google, and so on. Not just, and of course, TikTok and the infiltration and so on with what's that has been done. But yeah, they're going to go after big tech and do the things that are important there and do what they can to fight against it. But also proving the bias and what's been leaning towards the Democrats for a very long time and shutting down the communications or shutting down anything to do with conservatives for quite a long time. We know this. But it'll be proven out. So back to Mar-a-Lago raid. What's happened in the last 24 hours is they've discovered a bunch of classified documents that Joe Biden had at the University of Pennsylvania. It's the UPenn sort of a liberal think tank that they've given. I don't know why. I don't know the inner workings. We'll find out, and I'll bring you more of the details. But it's kind of a fluid situation, so to speak. I hate using Washington talk, but it's a fluid situation right now. So they're going over the details of what this is, but it's basically the fact that the vice president didn't have clearance to declassify shit, and he hid a bunch of documents there at this think tank. Now, people misplace things. They put things where they don't belong. They don't organize stuff. There are a lot of staffers that are disorganized or don't care or checked out or whatever. But I don't know what these documents are. But the FBI is directly involved and has found, it's been reported, and of course they made Biden aware that they have these documents. They're going to be going over the details of it. Here's the sticky part, okay, is that the Biden / UPenn, I don't know what you would call it, has been funded by the Chinese Communist Party. $54 million or so that's been given to that group or think tank or organization or facility, or I don't know what it's called. You call it an outhouse. I don't care, but $54 million has come from the Communist Chinese Party. And strangely enough, there are classified documents that are there. I'm going to save this for a more in-depth report on it for you guys, but that's why it makes the Mar-a-Lago raid important for them to look back at. Now, President Trump could declassify anything. He was a president. He can declassify anything, and he did. And so he had documents that were there at Mar-a-Lago. As far as I know, President Trump didn't commit any crimes with that. In fact, they have gone ahead and walked away from that. But now we'll see if they treat it with equal ferocity, going after Joe Biden for the documents that he had declassified in a facility that was funded by the Chinese Communist Party. I can tell you that there will be a massive amount of bias. It won't be treated equally. You can expect that to come true in the public. Anyway, we're going to move on from this, guys. Going to shorten this up right now. But these are the things that he's promised. Let's see how he does. Let's hope that things move well into the future. And high hopes, right? Trust but verify. as Ronnie used to say, and we're going to keep our eye on the ball and see how it goes. Thanks, guys, for tuning in. We'll see you next episode. Jeremy Scott, Liberty Bugle Town Hall. I'm tongue-tied on a Tuesday. Imagine that. Click subscribe, guys. We'll see you next time. Bye.